What's going on, guys? It's your boy Distant Coder, and today I have a big news announcement for you guys. So yesterday I posted a video explaining how the European Remote Duel YCS was potentially going to be using some outdated rulings. These rulings in question are specifically the rulings that pertain to the April 2020 rules revision. Now, I'm not talking about like fusions and XCs and such being able to be summoned to the main monster zone, not to a zone no link points to. I'm talking about specifically the rules about cards needing to be in their trigger location or to activate their effects and stuff like that. The effects that say that like your Eldritch Trap cards will still take up a spell and trap zone even if they're in the monster zone. Those kinds of rules. So if you haven't checked out that video yet and you don't have any idea what is going on here, do check out that video. I'll put a link to it in the description. But do check out that video so you are brought up to date as to what was going on. But for those of you that are aware as to what has been happening since yesterday, I have an update for you guys. So yesterday in the European Remote Duel YCS Discord server, they posted that they were potentially going to be using the old rules and not using the April 2020 rules revision. Now, today in their Discord server, they gave us an update and have decided to potentially overturn. So we're going to read this together and we'll see what it is that they decided. So say, attention duelists at everyone, thank you for your patience. Following finalized discussions and feedback, we would like to announce that similar to the Remote Duel Extravaganza events, the Remote Duel YCS will also be using what's commonly known as the April 2020 Master Duel Rules Revision. Please note that a Q&A of the specific changes on gameplay will be posted shortly. Due to this announcement, we've also decided to extend the decklist submission deadline. If you'd like to have a decklist change, please ensure that you do so before the time limit. So they have decided to overturn their initial ruling, and I'd like to break down the potential reasons as to why that is. So yesterday, I did get a couple of insider messages from people that, work behind the scenes, and some people gave me a little bit of information. Now, I don't know how much of this is true and is not true, but I would like to bring this to your attention just so that you guys can, be in the know as to what's going on and what to expect from future events. So, from what I've been told, when the European YCS Discord server posted that they were using the old rules, it was brought to the attention of some of the North American Konami representatives, and one of them in particular took it upon himself to go into that server and make a change. So that Konami representative is none other than Robert Wakeland. So I wanted to see, because I was told that Robert Wakeland joined the Discord server, and shortly after that was when they removed the initial post that they made. So I went to the Discord server, and sure enough, Robert Wakeland had just joined the Discord server shortly before, I should say, they removed the initial post where they said that they were using the old rules. So as you can see, a Konami representative stepped in to make sure that these rules be changed and they don't adopt the old rules but instead adopt the new rules. Now, if you're asking me, I think that's confirmation enough that these rules are the rules that we're supposed to be playing with moving forward in every single official sanctioned Konami event. Now, again, we still don't have an official statement on it, but I feel as though a Konami representative stepping in order to, have them adopt these new rules as being the correct rules, I feel like that's about as official of a statement as we're gonna get on the matter until Konami actually decide to make, the official statement. But up until then, I feel like this sets a very, very strong precedent that we are supposed to be using these new Master Rule revisions for every single Konami sanctioned event moving forward. And I think in the first place, I think that it was a bad call to opt to use the old rules, but the only reason they made that decision was because there was no answer from Konami as to which rules they were supposed to be using. So they decided, we don't have an official statement on the new rules, we'll use the old rules. But as you can see, a Konami representative has stepped in order to make sure that they use the new rules revision. So if you guys do want to know specifically what these rule revisions are about, you can go to YG.org and type by DD Crow, and it'll pull up this page here. The first YG.org article that you'll find is the one that outlines the April 1st, 2020 revisions. I'll also leave a link to this in the description of this video as well. But it just goes to show that these are the rules that we're supposed to be playing with. And if you do want an update on these and make sure that you are in the know as to which rules you are meant to be playing, I spoke about them in my last video, explaining what the old rules were and what the European players may have to play with. Now, just do keep in mind that if you go to this article, you're going to be playing with the rulings that are in red here. So I'll just go over them real quick for you guys, just so you guys make sure that you're up to date and in the know about these rulings. But regarding the activation of monster effects of monsters put into the extra deck or deck face down, if you shuffle a monster that has an effect when it leaves the field back into the deck or into the extra deck, it will not be able to activate under the new rules. So these are the rules that you're going to be playing with. The activation of cards and effects that move away from their activation location before their effect is activated. This outlines stuff like the DD Crow Benten interaction with Drytron. So if they Alpha Thuban, tribute a Benten, and you chain DD Crow, banish that Benten, because the Benten isn't in the graveyard where it met its trigger, it won't be able to activate for this event and for all events moving forward. Regarding normal special summon of monsters in relation to card effects that mention during the turn you activate this card / effect, and regarding the special summon of monsters that mention they can only be special summoned once per turn, what this means is that if a monster says that it can only be special summoned once per turn and its summon is negated, that monster was never even considered attempted to be summoned. Basically, attempted summons are no longer a thing. If you attempt to summon a monster and its summon's negated, it doesn't count towards Winda, it doesn't count towards summon limit, it doesn't count towards having special summoned a monster so you can't activate Pot of Duality and things like that. And the last one is specifically pertaining mostly to Eldritch players, where regarding continuous trap cards that special summon themselves to the monster zone by their own effects. So under the old rules, if you had a trap monster that was still a trap card, if you summon that monster, it would still take up a spell in trap zone. So you basically, essentially, if you had like a Conquistador in your monster zone and 4 set spell traps, you wouldn't be allowed to activate or set another spell trap card. Even though you have a physical zone that's free, that monster would still take up that zone. Under the new rules, these trap monsters no longer take up a spell and trap zone. So I'll be linking this page for you guys just so that you guys can make sure that you're up to date on these rules and you know which rulings are going to be used for the event. If you have any questions as to some specific rulings that may occur in the event, there are 2 places where you can ask to make sure that you have the correct ruling. The best place would be to specifically ask the head judge of the tournament itself, so in the Discord of the European YCS. Otherwise, I'll leave a link to my Discord server. A lot of people, including myself, answer rulings there. So if you guys want to join my Discord server, ask your ruling questions there, you're free to do so. I'll leave that in the description for you guys. But I hope that this at least clears up the whole confusion that was happening. I know a lot of people yesterday were really anxious and nervous because they had submitted their deck list and they were like, well, there's some cards that aren't as good now. Stuff like DD Crow, such as Cycle Reader, under the old rules aren't as powerful as they are under the new rules. But here we have confirmation that the European YCS have saved their YCS and will be using the new updated April 2020 Master Duel Rules revision. And I think that is a very, very good thing. And this sets a very strong precedent that these are the rulings that we're going to be using in all the tournaments to come. So thank you guys for watching the video, and I hope this has, helped you guys understand properly the kind of rulings that you guys are going to be playing with if you're playing in this YCS or any other YCS for that matter. So have a good one, guys, and see you